Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allows this made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, checks and balance, and fair use. I think it's interesting at times we need to go and check out some advice from the culprits that actually hurt kids. Well, I used to be associated with NASCA, National Association of Adult Survivors of Child Abuse. Is that .org? Hey there, how are you doing, our bucket? Good to see you so much. Hello, Chris. Good to see you as well. Well, NASCA is the National Association of Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, like I said. And on that website, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. This is Protecting Your Children, Advice for Child Molesters, developed and written by child molesters in treatment at the Center for Behavioral Intervention in Beaverton, Oregon. Without further ado, if anybody wants to come up in a little while after we get this out there, feel free. We're glad to have you up there. This is the website right here, nasca.org. Like it says, Protecting Your Children, Advice from Child Molesters. That was written March 2014, developed and written by child molesters in treatment at the Center for Behavioral Intervention in Beaverton, Oregon. First, what is child sexual abuse? Child molestation usually begins with a sex offender gaining a child's trust and friendship. The offender then begins testing the child's ability to protect himself by telling sexual jokes, engaging in horseplay, back rubs, kissing, or sexual games. Now, please share this out. This is very important. If the child appears comfortable or curious about this type of behavior, and most healthy, normal children are, the offender will slowly increase the amount and type of touching to include more direct sexual touching. Child sexual abuse can include exposing, fondling, masturbation, oral sex, intercourse, and pornography. Many children do not understand that what is happening is sexual or wrong. Most offenders know that if they physically harm a child while molesting her or him, the child would be more likely to tell. They are also clever enough to make the child feel as if she is actually responsible for the contact. Children become trapped and are unable to tell anyone what is happening. I want to make sure that I've got trigger warning put out there. I don't want the fact of having the copyright disclaimer, making sure to get that off of there. Okay, so we get back over here. Okay. Research has demonstrated that most of our school based child abuse prevention programs do not prevent children from being abused and have little impact on reporting. The reason for the lack of impact on abuse is that children are not in a good position to protect themselves from adults, especially if the adult offender is a parent or caretaker. Given the way child molesters operate, it is imperative that adults, not children, become educated about child abuse, supervise their children more closely, and take action if they suspect someone of abusing a child. Parents, schools, churches, and community groups must also work together to develop prevention programs that incorporate parent training into prevention programs and encourage reporting. The information in this article was compiled and written by several sex offenders in treatment or with the Center for Behavioral Intervention, CBI. Who are child molesters? Research indicates that 25% of children are sexually abused prior to their 18th birthday. Most children are molested by someone they are related to or know very well, like relatives, neighbors, or family friends. We'd also know that it can be your friend's family when they go to visit them. One study indicated that 1 out of every 10 men has molested a child. You hear that? And this was written back, what, 2014? So that could even be bigger than that now. And these are just ones that were caught, okay? And we know many, many adults that have never been caught. So we know the number is much higher than that, sadly. Despite the high rate of child sexual abuse, only 16% of child victims are able to tell someone that they are being abused, and only 3% of sex offenders are caught and prosecuted. Well, let me reiterate something right there. There's a lot of kids that did tell, and the parents or adult had said, "You're lying." That person won't do nothing like that to you. I know a lot of my friends that were sexually abused and violated, and their parents said, "No, that didn't happen. Stop lying, or you deserved it. You know, you were too promiscuous." Let me tell you, a child, it is not the child's fault when adults do these actions to a child. Let me get that first and foremost, okay? Most offenders are able to get away with molesting children for years before they are reported to law enforcement. What these facts tell us is that all parents, caretakers, and community members must educate themselves about sexual abuse and child molesters in order to improve their ability to protect children. But you know, in this day and time, I'm going to be serious. It's kind of hard to protect your children when some of them are CPS, when there's people like police officers, judges, attorneys. It makes it that much harder to protect ourselves. That's when we need to band together. We adults need to band together and help get this out there. We need to band together and prosecute these people, right? Most offenders are able to get away with molested children years before they are reported to law enforcement, as I said. Well, these facts tell us that all parents, caretakers, and community, we're going back over there, must educate themselves about sexual abuse and child molesters in order to improve their ability to protect children. What you don't realize is that can be the guy next door and you don't even know it. You say, "Can you watch my child for a little while when I got to run to the store?" You know, they should be home just for a little while. You won't have to watch them long. You don't even know that person really well, but you thought you did, right? Little do you know, he's one of them or she's one of them. It is important for people to understand how normal child molesters look and how easily they can gain access to children, isolate them, and manipulate them into thinking the abuse is okay. Offenders also make children feel guilty and responsible for the abuse. These dynamics make it very hard for children to tell anyone what is happening to them. We hope this brochure will help you protect children from people who molest and abuse children. I'm going to try to log into my um, YouTube. I'm going to try. Okay. So, who is a typical child molester? These are some of the questions and answers that we're going to find. I am probably well known and liked by you and your child. What y'all think about that answer? I am probably well known and liked by you and your child. I can be a man or a woman, married or single. I can be a child, adolescent, or adult. I can be of any race, hold any religious belief, and have any sexual preference. I can be a parent, step parent, relative, family friend, teacher, clergyman, babysitter, or anyone who comes in contact with children. I am likely to be a stable, employed, respected member of the community. My education and my intelligence don't prevent me from molesting your child. Wow. Did you see that answer right there? My education and my intelligence don't prevent me from molesting your child. I can be anybody. Parents can defeat me if they work together. Woohoo! Educate yourself, your family, and your community. How do child molesters gain access to your child? Put in mind, these are answered by child molesters, okay? It is very easy to gain access to your child. I pay attention to your child and make him or her feel special. I'm going to put him or I'm going to add her as also, okay? I pay attention to your child and make him or her feel special. I present the appearance of being someone you and your family can trust and rely on. I get to know your child's likes and dislikes very well. I go out of my way to buy gifts or treats your child will like. I isolate your child by involving him, and I'm saying or her, in fun activities so we can be together alone. Whoa. If you are a single parent and may prey on your fears about your child lacking a father figure or a stable home life. Wow. If my career involves working with children, I may also choose to spend my free time helping children or taking them on special outings by myself. I take advantage of your child's natural curiosity about sex by telling dirty jokes, showing her or him pornography, and by playing sexual games. I will probably know more about what kids like than you do: music, clothing, video games, language, etc. I make comments like, anyone who molests a child should be shot. Oh my gosh. I didn't never even think about that. So these molesters are actually going like that and speaking like they are against somebody who molests a child. Anyone who molests a child should be shot. Okay, we found out he molested a child, so can we go and shoot them? Okay. Or sexually abusing a kid is the sickest thing anyone can do. Wow. I agree with those statements, but I'm not one, okay? Oh my goodness. So they fit right in is the point, okay? They try to fit right into the conversation where you can trust them or make you believe they can be trusted with your child. If I am a parent, it is even easier for me to isolate, control, and molest my own children. Whoa. I can sexually abuse my children without my wife ever suspecting a thing. I gradually block the communication between my children and their mother and make it look like I'm the good guy. Whoa, these answers are blowing me away. I may touch your child in your presence so that she thinks you are comfortable with the way I touch her. Ow. Why don't child molesters always get caught? Remember, once I start, I will do everything possible to continue molesting your child. I am sexually turned on by kids and I enjoy being sexual with them. If I have had a lot of practice, I can become very skilled at offending. I will not stop on my own. I am very selfish and do not care if my behavior is hurting your child. Wow. Can you believe that? These guys and girls, ladies, whatever, are being very truthful. Wow. They're not trying to sugarcoat what they've done and what they are doing. It says, after I begun molesting your child, I maintain his cooperation and silence through guilt, shame, fear, and sometimes love. I convince your child that he is responsible for my behavior. I make your child think no one will believe him if he tells on me. I tell your child that you will be disappointed in him for what he has done with me. I warn your child that she or he will be the one who will be punished if she or he talks. I may threaten your child with physical violence against her, you, a pet, or another loved one. I may have gotten the child to feel sorry for me or believe that she is the only one who understands me. Whoa. If I am a parent or live in a home with children, my behavior may look accidental. I may accidentally expose myself or accidentally walk in on children while they are using a bathroom or changing clothes. If I am a father, my behavior might look normal to other people. I may use situations like tucking the kids in at night to touch them sexually. Gross. Taking a deep breath here. This is hard to read, y'all. I may have told my children that this is what all fathers do with their children so that they don't know to tell. I wondered if that's where I got the idea at when I kept thinking that everyone was abused. I may have been told the same thing from my father, right? I may be so good at manipulating children that they may try to protect me because they love me. Prevention. Don't feel that your child is safe from me. At least one out of every four children will be molested by the age of 18. Here are some ways to protect children from me. Don't expect your child to be able to protect himself from me or assume that he will be able to tell you what that I am abusing him. Communication. Listen, believe, and trust what your child tells you. Children rarely lie about sexual abuse. Education. Teach your child healthy values about sexual abuse. Scary. Watch for any symptoms of sexual abuse your child might demonstrate. An excellent guide for teaching children about sexual abuse is a very touching book by Jan Hyman, For Teens No It's Not Enough by Karen Adams, Jennifer Fay, and Jan Lorene Martin. For adults, by Silence Betrayed by John Crudson. Give your child specific information about where on her body she should not be touched or touch others. There's a good organization, y'all, called My Body is My Body, and they got a song at YouTube which you could teach your grandkids or your kids, okay? Let her know that people who touch children's private parts need help because they have a problem with touching. Remind your child that secret touching is never the child's fault. Talk to your child about the ways someone might try to trick them into going along with the secret touching or not telling you that it is happening to him. Make sure your child knows that you want him to tell you immediately if something should happen, and that despite what anyone else may tell him, he will not be in trouble. So when a kid comes up to you and tries to talk to you, please don't say, "Go away, I'm too busy." Get to know your child's friends and the homes in which your child plays. Be wary of older children or adults who want to spend a lot of time alone with your child. Trust your intuition. If you feel something is not right in your child's relationships, act on it. Learn about the prevention program that your school uses and discuss it with your children. Have safety talks with your children several times a year. Add information about the risk of encountering sexually explicit materials and adult offenders in the community and on the internet. Well, I seen. Have y'all watched them shows on the TV like you tell you tell your kids not to go off with a stranger or anything, and then this guy walks up and dries up or something, and he shows how easy it is, even if you had taught your kids this, how easy it is to manipulate and get your child inside a car. So basically, I think you need to do more than just teaching. I think you need to play it, improvise, show him, her, that you don't do that, all right? Almost one quarter of children are exposed to unwanted pornography via the internet. Use an ISP that offers screening for obscenity and pornography. Indications that a child is being molested. Because each child is unique, symptoms of sexual abuse vary and can be hard to identify in some cases. Here are some things to watch out for. Behavioral symptoms can include a change in modesty, ranging from becoming overly concerned about their bodies to engaging in inappropriate sexual behaviors. Physical symptoms can include genital pain, itching, discharge, and bleeding. Children can also develop stomach aches, headaches, and a variety of other physical complaints. Other changes can include sleep disturbances, bedwetting, unexplained fears, or refusal to go certain places or be with certain people, school problems, difficulty with peers, excessive crying or depression, clinginess, aggressiveness, or secretiveness are also common. He may be afraid to tell because, of course, they were threatened that they will harm you. So they might not come and tell you right away. Notice your child's symptoms of their behaviors, please, adults. Please, everyone. Children who are being abused sometimes try to deal with their own problems. Their problems by engaging in escape behavior. This may involve running away, drug or alcohol use, daydreaming, or becoming more isolated. Some children may not demonstrate any type of negative symptoms. Some offenders are able to groom children for abuse in a manner that makes a child feel comfortable, close to, and even protective of the offender. Remember, if your child demonstrates any abrupt change in behavior, he may have something he needs to talk about. Repeated inquiries and supportive information may be necessary. If a child molester has begun isolating and manipulating your child, he may feel very confused about telling. The child may believe that if he tells, he will be the one in trouble or that he will lose his friend or parent. I'll check the speaking. Get over here right quick. Yeah, I'll come back and we'll talk on this in a few minutes. Where you can get help. Here's our answers, okay? It says sexual abuse is a crime. If you believe I have molested your child or any other child, don't try to handle it yourself. I will always promise you that it was the first time and that I will never do it again. I will be lying and I'm good at it. Call the police. The best thing you can do for your child and my past and potential victims is to report me to the authorities. If I molested your child, I'll do it to someone else's child unless you stop me. Wow. Wow. I'll go up and see. Wow. Oh boy. This has really got me good here. Hearing this. Well, they work at dot or at a church. You're right. Hey, Joanna. Just like teachers and religious leaders, you got that right. Yeah, this got to tick you off, and I guess it did, huh? This is why my grandchildren do not spend the night at other houses. I'm sorry about my French. It's okay. It's all right. We need to be upset so that we speak out, right? So I think this was very interesting on getting it basically from the aspect of hearing it from child predators themselves, man. It was good to see that they were honest about it, right? Arrest me, keep me in jail, basically. So it means, okay, if you don't want us to offend, don't let us get out of jail. That's basically what they're saying. Don't give me a reason and a way where I'll be able to be a perpetrator for your children. Arrest me. Oh, wow. So why are they giving all these predators bond and bail? I want to know that. I hope this information was very insightful. And I had seen this and figured it's got some learning experiences straight from child molesters' words themselves. You are right. We understood what that meant there, Chris. Correct. Well, thank y'all so much. And I see some other pertinent information at the website. If anybody would y'all like me to scan through some of the stuff and y'all tell me what you might would like to go over sometime? I shared the page. So let me, even though I'm no longer affiliated with doing groups for them, but I still am basically, my name and stuff is still there. Okay, this is about NASCA's mission. It said all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. True evil lies not in the depraved act of the one, but in the silence of the many. You see this? A few statistics. Chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 6.2 million. Chances of dying in a plane crash, 1 in 400,000. Chances of dying in an auto accident, 1 in 19,000. And chances of a child being raped or sexually abused, 1 in 4. Then there's long-term consequences of child sexual abuse by gender a victim. About the statutes of limitation, and it's got Child USA, which has a lot of different things in there, which we study and improve these laws to prevent child abuse, child sex abuse, maltreatment, including statute of limitations for child sex abuse, age of majority, consent, and marriage, religious liberty statutes, and medical neglect laws. We investigate states with inadequate protection laws against child sexual abuse, maltreatment, physical abuse, and neglect. Here's about recovery. The primary mission at the National Association of Adult Survivors of Child Abuse is to help abused people who have reached maturity get into recovery. If you are a man or woman who experienced sexual abuse, violence, severe neglect, or emotional trauma in your youth and are still suffering its lasting effects, we want to help you have a happy, healthy, productive life and meaningful relationships. We've been there, and our membership includes people who have recovered in a number of ways, many of us using one or more of the many resources we recommend on the site. Secondly, we'll actively advocate for a better understanding of the sheer magnitude of the many problems. Because that I used to be a member there, more so. There's what are the statistics of the sexually abused child? 50 facts about domestic violence. I think we really need to go over that because there are a lot of people that are dealing with that as well after having been sexually abused. About adult survivors of child abuse, adult manifestations of childhood sexual abuse, 67 resources for sexual assault survivors who aren't sure where to turn. Like I said, you can go to this website, naasca.org, and you can click on the links. And like when I click on this, it gives a lot of different resources for sexual assault, domestic abuse survivors who aren't sure where to turn, hotlines and call centers, shelters, counseling and support resources, somatic body center therapies, trauma informed yoga, animal therapy, art therapy, online support retreats, and books. Reactions of adult survivors of child sexual abuse. And this one right here is the following descriptions are meant to serve as a general guideline of how a victim of sexual assault might react in a time of pain or crisis. It is important to recognize, however, that each victim of sexual assault will have his or her own life experiences and personality that will influence how she or he reacts to the assault. Okay. Post traumatic stress disorder in adult survivors. 13 steps on managing flashbacks. I think that would be important to go over as well. When you grow up in a dysfunctional family, what to consider when reconnecting with a strange family, loving the wounded child within, about emotional abuse and trauma. I had a friend that was not physically abused by her husband, but she was emotionally abused. And she would say, I'd rather he would just go ahead and hurt me because it already hurts so bad. It already feels like I am cut all up in pieces from the words. Understanding verbal abuse. The Lamplighter movement, it was an international movement for incest and child sexual abuse recovery. Y'all see any of these type of things that y'all seem interested in, just let me know and I'll be glad to go over it some more. Men are even more likely to keep the stories of their youthful sex abuse a secret. Male sex abuse victims often suffer in silence. Okay. There's male survivor websites, so y'all can actually go here as well. You see all the different groups right here, the different resource centers, general survivor websites. Okay. Sites to help survivors' families, which is also good because sometimes you, as a parent or sister or cousin or even a good friend, might not know how to help somebody that's been through similar. Thoughts to help parents who are dealing with a child who has been sexually abused or molested. Some thoughts. Okay, I think this will be important for us to take. We are innocent and guilt free, yet share feelings of shame and fear. We should accept no responsibility for our abuse in childhood. Our low self esteem and feelings of worthlessness are lies. Our lives changed forever in the moment we were first violated. We were diverted from our destiny. Our scars can become a permanent part of who we are, defining us. We suffer a kind of insanity which can involve deep depression, anger. The resentments we carry are controlling us. We are not alone. We are as sick as our secrets. Recovery is possible if we work for it. We can have a complete change in our character. Can have a new attitude on life, feel useful. We can serve the world by helping rid of it, child of it, abuse. It's better to recover together than to survive alone. Then there's videos for adult survivors of child abuse. It's at cavalcadeproductions.com, adult survivors. So it goes on and on. Darkness to light. Guess y'all see all this. This even got like male survivors. A goal of male survivors is to overcome the sexual victimization of boys and men by helping professionals and others to better understand and treat adult male survivors of childhood sexual abuse. But it just goes on and on. These different websites. There's so much. This is a world of information. And of course, when you go to the resource page back here, there's some of us whose names are still there. Okay, still there. Okay, so feel free to reach out to NASCA.org. Some of us don't mind getting phone calls to try to help. I won't get if I don't have your phone number in as a contact, then you need to leave me a message where I can get back to you. Okay. I want to thank you all so much for everything that you have done. You are quite welcome. God bless you. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I hope this helps somebody. If you seen anything that might be interested, just let me know. God bless.